Grade 12 financial maths. All the new stuff is future value and now present value. Right, now future value is when you start saving. So the key words there to notice most of the time, we'll get to some tricky stuff. Most of the time it will be something you have a savings, you have an annuity, you have an investment, because you're putting money away for the future, F for future. Your F formula will make your 1,000 Rand a month or 500 Rand a month be much more at the end than what you just paid in, because it contains interest. Now the present value formula is for presently. At the moment when I start, what is my loan? Because usually present value is for loans. I'm always saying when I start there will be some tricky stuff, but for, as a beginning, straightforward, which normally the sums are in financial maths. We get tricky stuff, but normally it's straightforward. It's something like, let's make up our own sum. I want to, let's say we work out P. What is the loan amount? No, just decided not. If I make a loan at the bank because I want to buy a 200,000 Rand car, the bank manager tells me an interest rate of 17%, which is rough for a loan, but they're asking for my money. 17%, and I want to do it quarterly, so that'll be per quarter. Then, just like in F, what will X be? So monthly installments, because now remember I've got monthly payments towards my investment or annuity or savings. Now I'm going to have monthly payments of my loan, because this is the nature of life. Whenever we buy something on credit, you make a loan, you've got to make installments. Your installment will have to be, are you with me? Now sometimes that happens in businesses. They decide we're only going to do this every 3 months, we're going to pay for our insurance or towards whatever. They can do it. Normal people pay monthly. And you'll see in your exam aid, normally the sums are monthly. I just want to mix it up a little bit so that you don't get so stuck on and you can't do monthly and quarterly and whatever. So my X will be per quarter. I want to know how much I've got to pay per quarter. But then also I'll have to tell you the loan is for how long. Now if I tell you that it is for 5 years, oopsie, you're going to pay through your neck. Let's make it 10. Because remember the logic behind it. When you look at the sum and you get the answer and it tells you you're going to pay like 70,000 Rand a month, it must make sense. If it's a huge amount and a huge interest and a little bit of time to pay, it must make sense to you. If you're paying for like 600 months forever, you're not going to pay so much at one stage, just to see if your answer kind of like looks like the reality. So if I tell you it's 10 years, this has got to be how many? 40 quarters. Because everything goes hand in hand. Now, a little bit other different than the F sum, there's only one formula. There's not a gap in the front, gap at the back, no gap. First reason why there's no gap at the front is I go to the bank manager and I tell him, please borrow me 200,000, but I insist on paying you immediately. What logic is that? If you wanted to pay him 10,000 now, just borrow at 190 and not 200,000. Are you with me? Doesn't make sense to have a gap, no gap. Okay? And this is what's going to happen with your normal payments towards a loan. So you're always going to have the little gap here in the front. I open my account, I get my money from them in pocket next month or next quarter I'll start paying. So this will always be the scenario for a loan sum. So doing the sum, that'll mean, please make sure you've got the formula right, which I was about to write down incorrectly. Did I write it there correctly? First mistake that kids make is they forget the minus. There's a minus there now, and it has a reason. Remember, these formulas come from sequences and series and how the time frames work and how they work backwards towards the present value. That's actually why it's a negative. But you've got it on your formula sheet. Please don't not check your formula sheet. Easily, even I sometimes switch up the minus and the plus if I go too quickly and think that I'm cute. Are you with me? Yes. So for this one, I said P is 200,000. Everybody happy on that one? Yes. My X is what I want to know. How much am I going to have to give them every month for this loan? The 1 minus the 1 stays the same. The I was 17 over 4, right?
0.
Thank you. 17% had to be 0.17. Please be careful if it was like 7%. But you don't write 0.7 because that's 70%. Okay, but this one, 0.17, and there's various ways of writing it. I like it this way because I can see, you know it's 17% quarterly. And if you made a mistake, I can identify where you made your mistake. Your N, we decided, was 40 quarters. And as you sit there, speak to yourself, you're not a crazy person, that you think quarterly, quarters. This is what I will pay per quarter, quarterly. So your X, when you work it out just now, you're going to have it per quarter. 0.17 over 4. It's just huge. Please do not put all of that in one little line. You're looking for trouble for yourself and for the marker. Please make it over at least 2 lines, even more if you need. Then if I need to get to X, how do I do that?
Times with 0.
Okay, you can times with that, get an answer, and then divide by this whole thing as is. Now guys, what I personally like to do is I do the whole thing. One shot. Do the whole thing as a fraction. Put it in, over another fraction, get the answer. But now be careful if you do it that way. If you did all of that, you've got to say this divided by answer. Are you with me? Or other way, say 200,000 divide by, then punch in that whole thing as a fraction. I know most kids like to say, first of all, times with this fraction. Remember, times with the fraction. Get the answer, and then you punch in this whole thing, including the brackets. Bracket at the front, bracket at the back. Just be careful that you don't make a mistake here. The most stupid thing that you can do is to only watch the videos and only watch the teacher and write down the answers, but you've never punched this in yourself. You will find you're not going to get it right because you haven't practiced how to do it well. This is supposed to be easy, and you're all very technologically adequate, I know, but you have to practice it, otherwise you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Can I please get an answer?
10483,68.
Thank you. So now, 10,000 a quarter. 40 quarters. How much did I actually then pay in? 40 times 10,000 and something. What's that, please?
419,347, comma 11.
No, wait. Okay, wait, yes. I'm on the right track as you as well. If you paid in 40 times this amount, it gives you way more than this that you pay in the bank.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're taking their pound of flesh for giving you that 200,000. They will let you pay a lot more. You see, it's more than double. And that's what happens. You'll even find when you buy a house over 20 years, which is now a 30-year time that you can take out a contract, that you'll pay way more than 2.5 times what you actually should have paid. But I don't know a lot of people that can go to a person and say, you want 3 million for the house? Okay, there you go. You all have to make loans, and unfortunately, this is the business that the bank is in. You will pay them a lot more than what you got from them because they're asking you for that interest. That's their business. Are you with me? Just to get back to that last comment that we made, that the eventual answer 400 and whatever was more than double the present value because you start off with the present value and it grows because of interest. With F, if you know what F is and you work out what you're actually putting it in, your eventual answer, if you said for instance 500 Rand a month and you worked for 60 months, you get the answer. Would that be more or less than what your F is? Your F will be more because it's growing, including interest again. Are you with me? So your F will be more than what you paid in because you're growing towards a bigger number. In the future, it should be more. But presently, with loans, presently, you should start off with the less amount and you'll have a more amount at the end because you're going to pay interest, whether you like it or not. That's why you go to the bank. Now, just to show you how to find N, because last year you could not find N. In our normal sums, with normal grade 11 stuff, I always asked you, either for P, then you had to have A and I and N, or for A, P and I and N, or for I, N and P and A. I never asked you for N. Why not? Because you need logs. Now that you know how to work with logs, we can ask you for N. Either in a grade 11 sum, it's fine, or in these ones, and they I want to say they always normally ask this. So I have to test whether you're doing the logs. So let's think of our own sum again. I'm making a loan for 15,000. I'm paying them back 1,000 Rand a month because that's what I can afford. And then I would like to know how long am I going to have to pay them. So this is the end part. So you still have your formula, which you will quickly learn to know. Please don't make a mistake. Check your formula sheet. So this is 15,000. Your X is 1,000. Your I is, I said 7%. Are you with me here? Can you read it as I gave it there without words? 7% per annum calculated monthly, which means that it's 7% divided by 12 monthly. Then your N is now the question. Whether I am in the F sum with a normal N plus in the front, or whether I am in the P sum, it doesn't matter, or whether I am in the grade 11 sum, it's going to be logs. The moment that you've got to get that in. Alright, so let's have a look. What would you then go and do first on your calculators? Remove the fraction, I agree. So you're going to take everybody with me, 15,000 times that fraction. Are you with me? And then I will do another thing before I write anything down, namely divide by 1,000. So I'll do this first, get rid of it, whichever way you like. You want to do that first, divide that by that, times away, divide away, as long as you get this answer of
0.0875.
Do you round off?
No.
Okay, you can write it, but don't round off. And now that's a problem because on the other side you've got some more work to do. You've got to go get that bracket of 1 minus that bracket to the power minus n. So maybe you should start looking at maybe working with your memory, putting it somewhere. Or otherwise, if you're scared you're going to lose it, write the whole thing down. So please give me the whole thing. Is it the whole thing? Okay, so not dot, dot, dot. I'm just saying, please don't round off anywhere else than in the final answer. Okay. So if that's the answer on the left, wasn't there a fraction then for it?
7 over 8.
7 over 8. I like it more.
Over 18.
18.
Yes.
Oh yes, obviously. Okay, so I would not even write that. If it's a nice fraction and you don't even have to write all the 70 million dot, dot, dot decimals, rather leave it that way. It's fine. On this side, you're going to first of all tell me what is 1 plus 0.07 divided by 12, please.
1207 over 1200.
Everybody happy on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's that part to the power of minus n. But you still have the 1 minus. Now here, remember in the previous ones I said to you just give me the answer. I don't want to see how you time, how you divide, how you what. But here, because you're going for logs, you need to be careful and rather show me more. So if I have 70 over 8, or 7 over 80, how do I change this to look better? Because remember we're working towards logs, right? You still remember my log key knowledge that I taught you? That this would be then 3
equals
is
to
log.
2 over 8.
How would you know if you're right?
Right, you
Could
calculate
you
it.
swapped it? Take your calculator and work out log 2 8 and see if it's 3. Because that obviously is right. Okay? So we know that the base stays the base. And then maybe you got Dermacard with the 8 and the 7. But this is where we're aiming towards. So I need it to be in exponent form. There's the exponent form. What would you suggest is better? With this being a minus. I would rather take it to the
Okay.
left hand side. It's not necessary. There's various ways, you know, all sorts of techniques. To me, I think it's a good idea to make this negative a positive, and then to bring that across, and you're going to get 73 over 80 if I'm correct, because 1 minus that is going to give me that answer. Now I'm ready. I've got a base, exponent, although it's fractions everywhere. It's a base, exponent, and an answer. So to get the answer from minus n, I'm going to have to say log
1207.
of, you don't need the bracket there, but okay. And then you're going to do that in the calculator, and that better be a minus, because n can't go back in time. N has to be something positive. So you're going to get minus n is minus something something. You don't have to write that. You can immediately say plus n and take your answer that you get and make it a plus as well. Answer please.
15,74.
Is there more?
Yeah. 29.
7429, what?
7.
So now the question has to say something like round off to 2 decimals, I'm happy. What does it mean though? This is 15,7 for what?
Yes. Months.
Years? Months?
Quarters.
What? Oh, I'm in the
Months.
previous question, I'm sorry. I'm in the previous question. You are right. It is months. I'm so sorry. Just double check always that you got months, monthly, monthly. So this answer has to be in months. The previous question was something about quarters, so the n was in quarters. So now the question can say, how long is this in months and years? Guys, I've seen it once in I don't know how many years and it counted one thing, and we're not going to stress about it. Just be careful. This is 15 months. This is not 7 months or 7 days. 15,7 means 7 hundredths of 30 or 31, depending on which month you are in. So they never go there. This is not what we're trying to teach. If you can get to 15 months, so how many payments will have to be made?
16.
You'll have to make 16 payments of what?
15 for
15 of
1,000.
1,000. And the last one will be a lesser sound. So are you with me? So that's just looking at logs. So the memo will always say the use of logs. So please don't go from here and tell me what is in. I will be very surprised if you get it right. But even if you do get it right, we need to see the use of logs. For some please just show me the use of logs. That I saw that there was an equation with an exponent, and how you use the logs and how you got to your answer. If you went immediately from there to your answer, we're happy. Okay. Exercise 4.5. Now the stuff gets quite more difficult. Question says, abbreviated. You borrow some money from the bank and you pay 240 installments. So how many times did you pay?
240.
Okay, that's it. 240. You pay 240 times. But you pay 9,000 Rand monthly But you only start in 1.5 years. From when? From the start, okay? So here's the start. So I've already got the money in my pocket, or wherever I chose to spend it. But this is like the advert that says, buy now, pay later. So you've already got the loan, but they said to you, okay, we're kind to you, you only have to start paying in 1.5 years. That's fantastic. Do you think that money that you took is still worth the same? If you loaned 100,000, it's still 100,000. Because you're going to have some interest on that. Now, I think the most logical thing or place to start would have been, it is a loan, right? Do you agree?
Yes.
Before we get to the nitty-gritty stuff, the loan would be, and if something is bothering you, it's good. If something's not lekker with the sum, that's why we're doing it as an example. So I'm paying 9,000 Rand a month, so that's my X, right? How many times am I paying it? 240 installments, there's no doubt about that. I'm paying them 240 installments. My interest rate was 9%, if I read the question, monthly installments, right? Something's bothering me here with starting in 1.5 years, but let's just do the sum. And then we've got 0.09 over 12, and I can get an answer. And I have got 3 or so out of 5 or 6 marks, because I'm not done. Please give me an answer. So you put all of that just into your calculator, and you'll know what your present value is. Your loan starting amount? This is the amount because P works this way. Right? So if I paid and I know what P there is, I've got to have that little gap there. Are you with me? But that was when I started paying for 240 times. So where is this? This is at the start of 240 times. Paying once, twice, whatever. So 240. So that amount is what I've got there. But that amount has already grown. Now what's the answer, please?
1 0 3 zeros.
Is it 1 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
104,586.
Okay, so we'll make it 5 down for our interest. That's fine, guys. Don't stress too much about the rounding off. If you round off twice in a sum, you'll maybe be out by a decimal, but please don't round in one sum. Okay, calculation. So that means over here, it's already grown to that amount of P. But where did this start? Where did you get the money? Long ago. How long ago?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. How much is this?
Interest.
It's not 18.
We had
17.
It's 17.
Why?
Because of the fact that P with the 240 starts off. There's ground zero if you want. That is your first payment, second payment, etc. So you were here on the 17th month already. So for 17 months, it already grew. Now, what can I tell you? What's most of kids are going to write? 18 months. Is that going to mean you're all going to get zero?
No.
No? Because everybody hopefully got that. But now you've got to say, I've got to work backwards. How? This amount has grown. So this is the end amount. So I've actually got to reduce it back again to the original loan that I made. And what sum is that?
80.
Okay, so that's going to mean, are you with me here?
Yes.
Where this is the P value that's got to reduce, and this will be less. Are you with me here? So that will be 1000. Please help me get the answer quickly. Nothing ever changes with the interest rate. The main thing that might have been a problem is most kids would have written 18. One mark. Don't stress. One mark, and so your A value would be, please.
880,138,51.
Now nobody knows that amount. It's most probably because of rounding, whatever. But this is what he originally had to go alone. Didn't pay anything back. When he started paying back, he's already at $1 million. He should have started paying earlier. And then going back again on that. Difficult? It's tricky? A little bit of thinking? Okay, so I need you to do exercise 4.5, number 7 and 8 for tomorrow.